Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights. I am JD Nero, aka He Who Pods, aka Rearview Mirror.
And I'm Dash, aka Dash MD, aka the real king of R&B, aka Cool Grandma, but not really, aka I can see a halo.
Right. Aka Starlight, Starbright.
I don't know what's going on with my lighting. But here we are, and I didn't make it better by wearing this color.
Nope.
Yeah.
You
Anyway,
didn't. Yeah, you didn't want to be a gentlewoman, you know?
I'm always a gentlewoman.
All right. Well, that was my little segue to Cleo Sol's album, ladies and gentlemen. Cleo Sol last week, Thursday, so a week ago now when we're recording this, she dropped an album called Gentlewoman.
Yep.
And I think this is an independent release because it says it's released by Forever Living Originals. I think that's an independent project. I think that's her imprint. I could be wrong. I didn't look it up, but it's no major label behind it that I can see. It doesn't say like licensed to so and so or anything. So I'm pretty sure it's an independent project, which is a good look. Anyway, I'm a Cleo Sol fan. I've listened to every Cleo Sol project, including the Salt projects. For those who know about Salt. And I'm gonna be very honest, on first listen, I was like, what is this? What is this? And I couldn't even finish on first listen, which Cleo Sol, this is my fault. Let me just be a little honest. Let me have a little accountability here. I was going for a run and decided I was gonna listen to Cleo Sol for the entire run. This is not the album for me to run to. Some people might. Some people listen to like soft music, even classical music when they run. This was a mistake for me, Cleo Sol, and so I'm sorry. Because Cleo Sol, this is my fault. I'm sorry. And so I tried again in a non-active setting. So let me just chill out. Let me just listen to this. Let me cool out, not run, sit my ass down and listen. And I said, all right, it's cool. And keeping it real. Listen, we come up here and we're honest. And I was like, it's cool. But it's not my favorite Cleo Sol. And then I gave it a second listen. And I realized that there's a couple things going on, because also in between my first and second listen, I heard some of the feedback, and I even spoke to someone who's also a Cleo Sol fan, and I realized what the problem is. The problem is not Cleo Sol. The problem is us. We the people, the Cleo Sol fans, because we had this amazing 2020 project, her first project. I think it was 2020. No, hold on. I think it's sooner than that, actually. Hold on. No, I was right. Rose in the Dark, 2020. Before that, she had like a 4-song EP or whatever. I'm not counting that. Now, we met a very specific Cleo Sol, but right after that, Cleo Sol went on a journey. And Cleo Sol is still on that journey. And so there's people saying like, but this ain't the old Cleo Sol. This ain't the Cleo Sol that we're used to. Actually, we can't say that anymore, because the change happened on project number 2, Mother. And since Mother, we've been getting the same kind of topics. We've been getting love, motherhood, God, spirituality, all of that stuff. That is Cleo Sol, folks. So if you're a Cleo Sol fan, you have to accept it. And that includes me, because I have to be honest, it was hard for me to listen to some of the music on this project, like it was when those other projects dropped. But what I've come to realize is it's not the songwriting. The songwriting is good. It's not the beat selection. The beat selection is good. It's not Cleo Sol singing. She sounds great. It is the subject matter in which some of us are not fans of. And that's not Cleo Sol's fault. She is making the music that is true to her heart, that is true to who she is today. And that's what you're supposed to do as an artist.
Agree.
You're supposed to.
What would you like her to talk about? I just want to be clear on what you're saying.
For me personally, it's hard to listen to the super sappy, uh, you know, engulfed in love every track songs. One. Two, I understand that she's religious. I don't want to hear religious music. Personally. Not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I don't want to hear you singing about God. I don't. And so that's a
Okay.
personal thing. Again, she's not doing anything wrong. But
Sure, but
I don't want to hear her sing about God. I'm not a religious person. This is a personal thing from JD. That's what I'm saying. We have to, as fans, we got to realize that's who she is. And if that's what we're going to listen to, we have to either skip those songs or accept that. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I realized listening to this project.
you're not answering the question. You answered what you don't want to hear. What do you want? What topics, what subject matters would you have preferred?
Love, heartbreak.
That's what I'm
I mean, she's
asking.
a young lady, like the type of R&B you expect from a young lady.
Okay.
Love, heartbreak, having a good time, all of those things. And there's some of that here, but there's also like, the motherhood stuff continues, the spirituality continues, the love for God continued. And listen, she's doing a great job. She sounds beautiful. This is beautiful music. Now, I do have one critique of the album that has nothing to do with all the personal stuff that me and the other people are critiquing. Because those are really not critiques, those are your personal feelings. And I can
Are
be
there that many
objective.
people feeling this way?
There are people voicing that, like, they don't want to hear this version of Cleo Soul anymore. This is the third album like this. And, motherhood has changed her, religion has changed her. And, that's not really the fun Cleo Soul we enjoy. Um,
Oh,
Now,
maybe
how
I guess I
many
just
how
haven't
many
heard.
people? I don't know that answer, but I have heard multiple people say that yes.
Mm.
Um, but I think this is a personal thing, right? This is not a legit critique of the music. This is what you want to hear, what I want to hear, but that's not a critique of the music itself. That's not an objective critique, right? Kind of like when we spoke about Spider-Man the other day, and I said, being objective, this is what's happening. My personal feelings are on this side. It's a separate thing. It's similar here. Being objective, I only have one critique of this album. This is a good album. This is a solid album. She sounds great. The beat selection is great, but it is a little monotone. It is really soft and jazzy. It would be nice, because we know she's capable of this. It would be nice if there was some more up-tempo music, at least sprinkled in. Because when you have an entire, I think it's 15 songs, um, when you have an entire album of like smooth, soft, jazzy music, it can get to a point where it's like, okay, but is there something different coming? Yes, 15 songs. So it's an hour and 2 minutes of music, which I appreciate. I'm not complaining about the length. I don't think there's any song here that sucks. That's not a problem for me. But it would be nice if maybe two or three of those songs had a little more bop to them. There is jazz music that's not just so soft and smooth and mellow. Like, even listening to Sade, not saying it's the same thing, but I'm just giving an example, not comparing them, just giving an example. Even listening to Sade had stuff that made you want to move your hips, made you want to two-step, made you want to do something. A lot of this project is not that. This is like really soft, really smooth, and I appreciate that. But it would be nice at some point in the smoothness if there was just a
Mhm.
little, look, just a little jump, just a little jump.
I hear you.
That's my only critique of the album as an objective critique. No,
Okay.
because I'm trying my best to be fair. as
Mm-hmm.
an objective, right? So speaking strictly about the album, the music, etc., I have no problem saying solid project, great singing, great songwriting. It flows smoothly. As far as an album critique, this is a kind of album you want to listen to if you are looking for those things. And that's where this side comes in. I don't want to hear half of these things. And I understand that as a Cleo Soul, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's an album review. Like it is your opinion. It's okay to have the opinion you have.
Right, but I'm also someone who makes music, right? And so I can understand both sides, and I feel like it's my duty to speak about both sides because part of doing a music review is not just I like this, I like this, I hated that, I hated that. It's also
Mm.
about like we were up here yesterday speaking about game. We didn't just say I like track 7, I like track
Of
4.
course.
We spoke about song structure, we spoke about the sequencing of the album, we spoke about the beat selection. And so all that is what I'm doing now, right? All of that is the
Mhm.
objective part. But we also spoke about yesterday, like I said yesterday, I didn't want to hear certain things from Game. I didn't want to hear certain people on the album. And so I think there's two separate pieces to doing a good album review. There's like, what was it as an art piece? And then it's what's your personal feelings about the art piece, which is part of why I listen to albums twice. And so, as an artist, I think she put it together a great body of work. I understand everything that she's doing and saying, and I think this is great. I think if you like those things, you will love this project. And if you just like something super smooth that you could put on and like play on the speakers and vibe out with some candles, also great. This is great for that. But for me, there are some subject matter I don't want to hear. In the future, I would skip those songs. Not because they suck, because I personally don't want to hear those topics again. The same way we
Mhm.
say, like, Rick Ross, it's like, okay, dog, you giving us the same shit every album. That's what's starting to happen with Cleo Soul. This is now the third album where those are the same topics. And I feel like, all right, that's cool, but I don't want to keep hearing that. The same way Rick Ross, when I hear the BMF record, when I hear the like, I'm on such and such block with a brick. Skip. So that's where I'm at with it.
Okay. I mean, again, you're entitled to your opinion, so I understand what you're saying. Of
Yeah, I just
course.
don't want my opinion to sound like this album is a piece of shit. Because I think you should be able to say like, hey, this is a beautiful piece of art. It doesn't speak to me in the way it speaks to some other people.
Mm, of
But
course.
I don't want, I know how the internet works, and I don't want my opinion to be misconstrued as me saying this is not a good album, because this is a good album.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I like the album. I didn't have a problem with in terms of subject matter. Also, again, to your point, it's not really new
Yeah.
for her. Um, and I would say it's the norm for her. If
Yeah, at this
her
point.
first, if her first album was the only album that was that way, and then after that, she kind of shifted gears a little bit or shifted the conversation. Also, I appreciate when an artist shows their growth
Yeah.
just as a human, which I think her music does.
Hmm.
Uh, in terms of like spirituality or like religion or anything like that, that's not necessarily my um a brand of music that I would normally gravitate towards. But I also think that music speaks to you or reaches you differently at different times in your life.
Yeah.
So, for example, a lot of people love Confessions, Usher's Confessions album.
Hmm.
And I once had a conversation with someone about the fact that it's not my favorite Usher album. It is a lot of people's favorite Usher album. My favorite Usher album is 8701. And I remember this person saying to me, "You must have been real happy and in love when Confessions came out, because the rest of us were struggling and going through it, and Confessions came at the right time." And whatever my situation may have been at the time, because that person wasn't speaking from knowledge of my background or anything like that, I do think that the point that he was trying to make uh, resonated with me, and I think it matters and it holds true. So you were exercising when you first listened to it. I was in the house. I put it up on the speaker, and I was about to cook dinner for myself. Very different. I was having a very introverted homebody moment.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, I like this." Like, it, to me, there is a piece that she offers in her music that, like, I really felt when I was listening to it. And I'm not trying to compare, like, oh, I like this or that. I'm just trying to have the conversation,
Yeah.
and kind of speak to what you were saying, because I think it's all relevant, and I think it all matters. I think for me, like, um again, I am currently, like, in search of peaceful moments. That is definitely the space that I have been in recently. And this, to me, came at, I was going to say this to you the other day, and then I didn't get around to saying it, but I feel like this album came to me at the right time. Because maybe if my mind was a little bit more chaotic right now, I wouldn't be able to appreciate it in the way that I do. But I do feel like it came at a time where I was like seeking that sort of calm and that sort of peace that she's bringing.
Mhm.
And again, to your point, she sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
She's not necessarily talking about things that speak to me, in everything that she's saying. Not I'm not saying never, but just a lot of it. Like, I can't relate to motherhood, right? Like, I'm not a mom. Um, as I already addressed, like, in terms of spirituality and all of that, like, I'm not deep into that realm, in that way. But I do feel like it just landed a little bit differently for me. And I don't know, like, I've been looking for ways to, like, calm my nervous system, and
This is
this
definitely the
truly
album to do that.
this truly did that. I've also been very much, like, um interested in getting more into jazz recently. So I think that too, like, um landed well with me. And I think she sounds great. I think the album sounds great. Um I do think there are some songs on the album that I really liked. I do like Gentlewoman. Um Sweet Thing was a song that really stood out to me.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of what else. I'm just pulling up the track list here.
Mhm.
But I've listened to this album several times, since it came out.
Mhm.
Um and again, I just think that that's just, like, the vibe for me right now. I just moved. I'm, like, trying to set up my new home. I've been in the house a lot, and just, and a lot, and coming off of, in 2026, just to be transparent, like, I was coming off of a 2025 that was, like, very chaotic for a lot of different reasons. And so I just feel like right now, like, even though I thoroughly enjoy listening to Game, and you know, and how upbeat and aggressive that album might have been. Like things like that really, things like this are really speaking to me right now. I don't know, like again, when I was in the midst of the chaos, I don't know, maybe it would have landed in a way where it would have calmed me down a little bit, but also maybe I just would have been feeling kind of the same as you, like this is not what I came here for, you know. So I appreciate the work that she's done. And again, I just think she just sounds really good,
Yeah,
and um, that's what you know, that's what
that's
we
what you want.
want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do, yeah, I do think like there's when it comes to like R&B and soul, and there's some there's some artists that I could listen to their music and really enjoy their music and never connect with what they're saying like on a deeper level. Um I always want to find connection in music, right? That makes sense to me,
Yeah.
but I don't always find it. Like there's times where I listen to, I don't know, SZA, for example, where I'm like, girl,
Well, you said it yesterday with Game. You were like, I don't partake in any of this, but
right,
I thoroughly
right,
enjoyed it.
right. And so same here. It's just like, well, girl, what did you just say? Or like, what was that thing that Ella May said? Was it Ella May? Or was it her? Can't remember, but one of them girls said something about like, if I can't have him, I'll die. And I was like, whoa, never. I'll love nobody that much.
Yeah.
Just so you know what I mean. I think in music we find that, right? Like like you almost have to separate yourself from the music in order to appreciate it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a great album. I will definitely be listening to it again.
Okay. Well, let's move on to our next topic. Uh, Jay-Z in Infinity, or Jay-Z
Or
in
Jay-Z.
8, however you want to call it.
Yeah. The trailer came out.
Yeah, right. I'm about to say the trailer came out, and we saw it. So this is supposed to be an 8-part series
Mm-hmm.
/ interview with Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
And I'll let you start this one.
Okay, so I'm gonna say what I said to you off pod, which maybe I shouldn't say this, but I like Rick Rubin. I'm watching this more for Rick Rubin than I am for Jay-Z. I think he's great when he's in conversation with others. I think he's great at asking questions that are thought provoking. He's also very insightful when it comes to music and the music industry. So he just has a perspective that, like, perhaps I don't have because I've never been in the music industry except for, the album that I have coming out on the 12th. But I'm excited for this. I'm excited. Now, I'm nervous about it being 8 parts because I just feel like that's long. I feel like that's a lot. We've also heard from Jay-Z recently, so it's like, are we gonna hear new things? But again, I think Rick Rubin is great, and I look forward to however he's going to deliver this to us with Jay-Z. But I really don't want to hear Hove say the same shit again. I really would prefer if he, gave us a little something more. He doesn't owe us anything, but I do hope that it's interesting. I hope that it doesn't feel like something we've seen already. I hope it feels brand new. And just, a refreshing take on whatever it is they are going to talk about. As in terms of the trailer itself, it looked like what I thought the trailer was going to look like. I mean, it's two guys sitting down talking. So I think it'll be interesting, but I'm nervous because I feel like Jay-Z don't be wanting to say nothing, and then he shouldn't do interviews. Or he shouldn't do a documentary or whatever this is. Anyway, what did you think of it?
Well, first, let me just answer some questions. It is officially called Jay-Z in 8.
Mm-hmm.
It says it's an 8-part HBO original documentary series featuring intimate, career-spanning conversations between rap icon Jay-Z and legendary producer Rick Rubin. There will be 2 episodes, aka chapters, released every Friday, starting September 18th and ending on October 9th.
Okay.
I didn't think this needed a trailer. That's number one. If you
Everything has a trailer these days, though.
right, which is part of the problem. But anyway, if you know about Jay-Z and you're a fan of Jay-Z, you probably want to watch this. If you know about Rick Rubin, his introspection, his quirkiness, and his interview series / podcast, you probably want to watch this. And if you're a fan of the Black Album and their work together, and Magna Carta and their work together, you probably want to watch this. So I didn't think it needed a trailer. The trailer was fine. It's them like listening to Jay-Z's music and discussing it.
That I'm excited about.
That is what made me not excited. I don't really want to sit.
Really?
I don't really want to hear Jay-Z critiquing his own music, telling us where he was when he thought about this record. If you're gonna interview
You
Jay-Z,
don't like that?
because Jay-Z has given us that already. Jay-Z has a book of this. They gave us a museum of this. I mean, I don't know how much more of the same we're supposed to get. Now, is it possible that Rick Rubin is going to make him or help him dive deeper into these things? Sure, maybe. But like, I was 8 years old and my dad used to take me through the neighborhood and he wouldn't let me, he would like test me and tell me, you got to memorize the way home. And that led me to no longer writing things down. And that's why I don't write things down and all my rhymes are in my memory. We know.
That's so
We know that.
interesting to me.
We know that.
There's
If you're a
I
Jay-Z
really
fan, you know this story because you've heard this story, you've read this story, you've seen this story. So I don't need to hear that for the umpteenth time. Now, perhaps Rick Rubin is going to help him dive deeper and ask some other questions. If this was a 1-hour interview, I would be first on the list to watch it. I would be so ready to give my hour and my focus. But 8 episodes? I don't think we need 8 episodes. I'm sorry.
I think they're gonna lose people. I think it's
It's like,
I think
remember we
it's
spoke about the Beatles getting 4
um
movies?
yeah.
That's what this
But
is
it,
to me. It's like, why?
but it's also different because the Beatles are getting 4 movies because each of them are they're telling each of their stories. That's different from watching an 8-part series about the same guy. At least with the Beatles, it's about
Overkill.
multiple people.
Yeah, it's
But
overkill is my point.
I agree with you because I do think they're going to lose people. I think people will tune in the first week and maybe even the second week. And I think by week 3, and this is just as someone who has worked for a television network, who works in podcasting, and like the whole thing is about like, I think that the numbers are going to drop. I think that's just, I don't think that even if it was going to be 8 episodes, and I wouldn't have even done it like that. I might have done like, I might have done. There's a few ways you could have done it. I would make them longer episodes and do like 2, or I would make them come out all in the same week or all in the same batch. Or so like, if they wanted to do like Tuesday to Thursday where 3 episodes came out and it was like 3 2-hour episodes. I'm not saying though that it should be that long, but I'm just saying if they had to do it, that would have been a better way to do it. Or the way that we know, like we binge things now, drop all 8 episodes on the same day.
Yeah.
I think you'll get more people to watch it that way than, but that's my advertising mind thinking. I just feel like I don't think it's gonna do what they seem to think it's going to do. I get it. It's Jay-Z, and we're all, gathering up whatever crumbs Jay-Z comes out and gives us, because he doesn't do a whole lot of this. But I don't know. I think this is not good strategy. I don't think 8 episodes over 4 weeks, or what is that what you said?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I don't think it should have been a month-long thing.
And
I don't think it's going to do the numbers that, like, you're going to lose people. You might even lose me. And I like Jay-Z very much. I
mean, listen, I'm a Hove stan, but
I
I just don't know how much. Like, I don't know. 8 hours? You want 8 hours?
It's a lot.
Even 4 hours. Let's say I'm wrong and it's half-hour episodes. You want 4 hours for album talk? And I'm gonna be honest, and people probably not gonna like that I'm gonna say this, but J. Cole did this same thing, and I feel like Jay-Z took it. I feel like Jay-Z has taken ideas from J. Cole before, and I feel like this is just another one of those. Because J. Cole, the only difference is J. Cole didn't get an HBO check, and he didn't sit with Rick Rubin, he sat with his longtime friend. But J. Cole did a podcast where he did this entire album, like he went project to project breakdown in podcast format.
Yeah. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. This has been Weeknights. Hove, we love you. Everybody else, we'll see you next time.
Bye.